What's up, Clashers? It is your host, Galadon. Welcome back, or if it is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by. Today, specifically focusing on Builder Hall 5. I recently did a poll on Twitter and found out that's where most of you guys are right now, is at Builder Hall 5. Probably early Builder Hall 5. Free-to-plays could be there already if you rush a little bit, but I will answer this question. I don't think it's a huge penalty to rush. Not anything like it is back in the home village. And that's because you're not going to lose loot. You cannot be rated for loot. So you're not penalized nearly as much to rush. So my answer to you guys, if you want to rush a little bit, go right ahead. Remember though that your opponents are going to be based upon the development of your own village. Your defenses, your walls, everything is taken into account, and of course your Builder Hall level. A lot of these guys facing Builder Hall 6 opponents already as Builder Hall 5s. Now that is of course because there's some mysterious algorithm that's probably as difficult to decipher as Google's search algorithm that determines who you match and when you match, okay? It's going to be a combination of trophies and of a score that's generated for all of your defenses, your Builder Hall level, and your troop levels. So, as you would expect, if you continue to win trophies, as you get higher, eventually it's inevitable, you are going to face players that are a higher level Builder Hall than you are, but it doesn't mean you can't beat them. Most likely, they are going to be an underdeveloped Builder Hall. If you're a 4 and they're a 5, they likely don't have maxed out defenses, and the same if you're a 5 and they're a 6. Here you can see Piment de Great from Night Mode Clash 9 doing a fantastic job of getting every single percentage point he can from his opponent as he uses that last minion to grab one more structure and a 68% 2-star, enough to grab him the win. Now, of course, you have to remember when you're facing these higher level players, they have the advantage on both offense and defense. They are going to have a better upgraded base than you, and they're going to have higher level troops attacking your lower level Builder Hall. So it does make it super difficult to get through these higher level players. Right here, Mohib, also from Night Mode Clash 9, taking advantage of his opponent just kind of, I don't know, an afterthought, throwing out his second crusher on the left-hand side. Probably the new defenses since this player recently went to Builder Hall 6. He hasn't had a chance to redesign his base. The base kind of looks like a Builder Hall 5 with a few extra buildings just lying out here on the left-hand side. And Mohib taking advantage of that, getting to the Builder Hall. Oftentimes, you can create a path to the Builder Hall with a ground-based attack with the Barbarians, the Giants, and the Bombers that can get you to the Builder Hall without ever having to face either of the two Crushers at Builder Hall 6. And actually, that is an attack strategy that holds true at pretty much any level. The idea of there's almost always going to be a pathway to the Town Hall without having to face one or both of the Crushers. Mohib, great job right here. 5 versus 6, 56% 2-star. But again, let's go take a look at his defense. He's got a well set up base, and he's facing a player that, again, just went to 6 and maybe went a little prematurely. So don't always think RIP if you're facing a higher level player in a battle like this, because chances are they're not that well upgraded. Now, he does have the level 5 battle machine, but none of his other troops are beyond level 10. The archers were level 8, and these level 10 barbarians, that is definitely not a surgical deployment, as a mass number of them are on the outside right there. Huge numbers of barbarians, and you can see beautiful path right here to the Builder Hall from the left-hand side, but instead, all of the barbarians are going to close in on the Crusher, and you know what that means. All right, one more time. Here it comes in slow motion, ultra painful. Barbarians already badly damaged, but nothing feels better than watching your Crusher take out every single opposing barbarian, well, except one. Got in there and smacked at the Town Hall just for a second or two. So Mohib grabbing a win against a higher level player. And again, you guys remember, just because you see that higher level Builder Hall does not mean that you're doomed to a loss. Now here we take a look at Blade from Night Mode Clash 9 as well. And again, it's a ground-based attack. But I have to tell you guys, this is not telling you that you should always attack with ground troops against higher level opponents. That really is holding true for all levels of the builder base right now. You can have one attack strategy that is your go-to, your favorite, but if you only use one attack army, you're going to miss out on opportunities to easily take down poorly designed bases that just aren't set up to defend either against ground or air. Right here, Blade doing a great job of, just like we talked about, finding a path to the Builder Hall that did not involve either Crusher. Now, the right Crusher is eventually going to go down, but even if it hadn't gone down, Blade grabbed that second star, that 2-star victory, by getting that pathway directly in the core of this base. And now, Cleanup Barbarians grabbing one last building and another 68% 2-star win. Next up, speaking of different attacking army compositions, this is going to be Yoshi from Night Mode Clash 9 going against a very common diamond base. Now, we'll talk about this later, but this is probably the most common base at Builder Hall 5, and we're seeing less and less of it at Builder Hall 6. And this, not the most common attack, but it's mass dragons. So he's got those maxed out for Builder Hall 5, level 10 dragons, and they are oh so powerful. Do a great job. He only has a level 1 battle machine, but it doesn't really matter. The dragons are going to get the job done right here, and you'll notice he did not spam them. He's being very precise, being very patient about where he drops the dragons, and again, like I've talked about in previous episodes, he is making sure that the tantrum is in effect for every single dragon. He's being careful to avoid getting too close to each other. As you can see, there's a couple right there in the middle. The one on the right was just about to go down, and as soon as it does, the other becomes re-enraged. They get to the Builder's Hall, and 56% at this point. With so much gone out of the perimeter, there's really no way to avoid the baby dragons stacking up. But as you can see, it doesn't really matter. 3 at the very bottom, taking out those structures. The only thing standing between Yoshi and a 3-star win is going to be the air bombs, and he still has 5 baby dragons up right now. The last things that he has to deal with, the Crusher, not going to be a problem. There it goes. Even the Roaster is not that damaging. As you can see, the dragons not really taking a great deal of damage from it. And there, last 2 structures to go down are the Crushers that never had a chance to crush anything except for maybe this defender's dreams. Okay, so we've got time for one more replay, and this, just in case you guys are saying, oh, these guys all have maxed out troops, level 10, check out Bonebreaker from Night Mode Clash 9 going up against another Builder Hall 6 as a Builder Hall 5 with only level 8 Giants and Barbarians. Now, whether or not his opponent had set up a trap right here or if this was just a mistake, we'll never know for sure, but it definitely did not work out too well for the opponent, as Bonebreaker never had to deal with the walls. In fact, the walls are working to Bonebreaker's advantage, keeping the Giants in and keeping them away from the second Crusher. That way, all of the Giants and the Battle Machine close in on the first Crusher. They're going to easily take it down, and now the double cannon is also going to fall, and that leaves only the 2 what I call afterthought defenses of a newer Builder Hall 6, the newer Crusher out there, and the low-level Archer Tower that are going to prevent Bonebreaker from grabbing a 3-star right here. So, the keys to Builder Halls 3, 4, and 5, unlike at 6, where eventually you will hit nothing but well-designed bases, at 3, 4, and 5, there's almost always going to be a certain percentage of bases that are fundamentally flawed and are going to be either super vulnerable to air attacks, ground attacks, to a barbarian style attack, to archers, dragons, minions. And so yes, while I think it is okay to rush advancing your Builder Hall base, I would advise to level up your troops relatively evenly. You may have a certain favorite attack that you like over others, but if you get to, say, Builder Hall 6 and you haven't been leveling up your minions, you're going to regret it because they are so fantastically effective against a base that has lots of air defenses and short archer towers set towards the inside. In fact, in a future episode, I will cover some attacks that grab 3 stars using nothing but minions. So rush if you must, but don't forget to level up those troops, and don't forget to subscribe for the earliest possible update and sneak peek information. Thank you guys so much for your time. I hope that you enjoyed the past few minutes, and if you did, please do hit that thumbs up button. Remember, I have no Gala fans, only Gala fam, and I hope to see you back here again tomorrow for more full attacks.